cher vieux Paris de mes amours, que c'est bon d'être de retour.
The question was, Madam Chancellor, is the new dream team of G7 now President Trump and President Macron? And the Chancellor replied, the new dream team of G7 is G7.
That's a good answer. You know, everybody has really contributed. We've had really great contributions from all of the different countries. I think that's true. Yeah? Very good contributions.
There were news that you got a compromise on digital taxation between France and the US. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, we're getting close, and they want to make a deal. We'll see if we can make a deal. We're getting close.
Vor allen Dingen haben wir uns vorgenommen, dass wir im Rahmen der OECD bis 2020 alle miteinander eine Lösung finden, und das wäre ein Riesendurchbruch für die Fairness auf der Welt.
We have said that we have the intention within the OECD to find a solution for each and everyone by 2020, and that would be an enormous breakthrough to the benefit of everyone in the world.
Correct.
And Chancellor Merkel, is Germany making a commitment to take back ISIS fighters in Syria?
Well, we're talking about that now, and we have a lot from Germany, which is a great thing, and we'll work something out. I think we're going to work something out.
Erstens haben wir bereits einige Familienangehörige aufgenommen, Kinder, und zweitens werden wir uns auch mit den anderen europäischen Ländern koordinieren, wie wir hier mit den Vereinigten Staaten zusammenarbeiten. Das ist eine gemeinsame Verantwortung, das ist klar, auch wenn es nicht ganz einfach ist.
First, I should say that we have already accepted a number of family members, among them primarily children. Secondly, we have committed ourselves, all of the European Union countries, to work together and to try and find a solution here, to work together with the United States on this one. But we want to find a solution together, but it is certainly not easy, I should say.
I think we've done a really great job. We defeated them. We took over 100%, not 99, not 98, because I was criticized. I said, all right, we get 98%, we're leaving. And I was very badly criticized. They say, why not 100%? So I said, all right, we'll stay, we'll do 100. So we did 100%, and we did a great job. And we've had very good talks, but it's not fair for the United States to have these people. We want to give them to the areas where they came from, and that includes not just Germany. France, we have a lot from France, we have a lot from UK, we have a lot from a lot of different countries, and for the most part, all in Europe.
Mr. President, on China, sir, do you think it's possible that talks would advance and you could reach a deal to either delay or cancel the planned tariff increases that you've announced?
Well, I think anything's possible. I can say we're having very meaningful talks, much more meaningful than I would say at any time, frankly. And I think for the most part, it's because we are doing very well. China is a great country. I consider President Xi to be a great leader. I think you do also. And he is a great leader. And look, they're losing millions and millions of jobs. They're going to other countries. And if I were them, I'd want to make a deal. But in the meantime, the United States is taking in tremendous amounts of billions and billions of dollars. And frankly, there's been no inflation, and most of these products haven't even gone up because China's able to manipulate and also able to put cash into the system where the product can stay at the same price. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a competitive product, and they wouldn't be able to sell it, and they'd lose jobs. But they've lost a lot of jobs, and I think they want to see a sensible solution. So there's a really good chance. I think we're probably in a much better position now than at any time during the negotiation. That's something meaningful. And I don't think you could have gotten here without having to go through this process. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think we're probably in a stronger position now to do a deal, a fair deal for everybody. And so we're having very meaningful talks.
Mr. President, is
the Chancellor pressuring you to de-escalate the trade war with China?
No, she'd like to see it worked out because it's good for everybody, I think, if it works out. Not pressuring. She's a brilliant woman, and she understands exactly where everything is. She knows before most people, and she'd like to see it worked out.
Frau Merkel, was sagen Sie dazu?
Ja, natürlich, wir merken doch, dass wir alle miteinander verbunden sind. Ich habe das schon oft gesagt, dass wir uns freuen würden, wenn es zu einem guten Abkommen zwischen den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika und China kommt, weil das auch in unser aller Interesse ist.
Okay?
Well, of
Mr.
course,
President.
we're all, sorry. Of course, we're all somehow linked together. We all have every interest in trying to see this come to a solution, and we'd be very glad if an agreement could be found between China and the United States that is in our own vested interest.
Mr. President, when you are hosting G7 next year, who will be your surprise guest?
I don't think there'll be any surprises. I'm not looking for surprises. I think we'll have a very successful G7. It'll probably be in Miami, right next to the international airport, great location. It's one of the biggest airports, takes planes from everywhere. Sometimes you have hours and hours of driving to get to certain locations. You'll only have a 5-minute drive, which is good. You land in Miami International Airport, and so we think we're going to have a very successful one, and we can learn from what took place here, because I think they did a really great job, even architecturally, the way the rooms were set up and designed, and I think they really did. We got some good ideas from this G7, but there won't be any surprises. No.
So your Doral resort? It'll be.
Well, we'll see. I think that Russia, we had a talk, and no vote or anything, but we had a talk about Russia. My inclination is to say yes. Some people disagree with me, some people don't. There are people that agree with me 100%, but there are some that don't. So we did have a discussion about Russia. We'll see. I think it's advantageous, but other people don't necessarily agree. Maybe at this time, I think I could say, maybe at this time, without being specific. But we'll see what happens.
President, you expect to
Chancellor,
host
can
the
you say something on
Doral
Russia,
golf
Chancellor?
course, the G7?
Yeah, it's seeming to set up the best. It's close to the, we haven't made a final decision, but it's right next to the airport, right there, meaning, a few minutes away. It's a great place. It's got tremendous acreage, many hundreds of acres. So we can handle whatever happens. It's really, people are really liking it. Plus it has buildings that have 50 to 70 units in them, so each delegation can have its own building. So you'd have the 7 various delegations, they could have their own building. So and they could have buildings for the press. It's very big, great conference facility. So we're thinking about it. They love the location of the hotel, and they also like the fact that it's right next to the airport for convenience. And it's Miami, Doral, Miami. So it's a great area.
Chancellor, can you say something on Russia?
We haven't found anything that could even come close to competing with it, especially when you look at the location being right next to the airport. Because so many places are so far away, the drive is so long, and you need helicopters, you need all sorts of things. This is something you can be there in literally a matter of minutes after you land. So I think they will appreciate that.
Chancellor, can you give us your views on Russia?
Wir werden sicherlich gleich darüber sprechen, ob wir eine Chance haben, mit dem neuen ukrainischen Präsidenten und dem russischen Präsidenten beim Minsk-Abkommen voranzukommen. Wir haben kleine Fortschritte jetzt schon gemacht mit Präsident Zelensky und dann werden wir bewerten, wie weit wir in den nächsten Monaten kommen. Ich habe ein großes Interesse daran, dass wir die Probleme gelöst bekommen. Es gibt genug Probleme auf der Welt.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour, ravi de vous retrouver et bienvenue à cette nouvelle émission et une émission très spéciale de notre édition autour du monde concernant notre continent, l'Afrique. Le président Abdel Fattah el-Sisi a jugé impératif le renforcement du partenariat entre les États du G7 et l'Afrique pour instaurer la paix et la sécurité dans le continent. L'Égypte participe pour la première fois au 45e sommet du groupe des 7 qui se tient du 24 au 26 août à Biarritz en France. L'invitation du président Emmanuel Macron au président Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, président en exercice de l'Union africaine, reflète l'importance du rôle de l'Égypte sur la scène régionale, voire internationale. Le point avec Dalia Karam.
Le président Abdel Fattah al-Sisi est arrivé samedi à Biarritz, en France, pour prendre part au sommet du G7 en réponse à l'invitation de son homologue français Emmanuel Macron. Le sommet du G7 tenu cette année traite d'un certain nombre de sujets, notamment la sécurité internationale, la lutte contre le terrorisme et l'extrémisme, l'utilisation de l'Internet à des fins terroristes, la lutte contre la traite des êtres humains, l'immigration clandestine, ainsi que contre les inégalités. Le sommet de Biarritz aborde également la promotion de l'autonomisation des femmes, les questions environnementales, climatiques, celles relatives à la biodiversité ainsi que le développement du système économique et financier mondial. Le président al-Sisi s'est adressé au sommet du partenariat du G7 et de l'Afrique en tant que président de l'Union africaine pour présenter la vision africaine sur les moyens de réaliser la paix et le développement durable et de consolider les bases d'un partenariat juste entre l'Afrique et les pays du G7 dans le cadre des intérêts communs et mutuels. Cette quatrième visite du chef de l'État en France revêt une importance particulière et est très significative, que ce soit au niveau des relations égypto-françaises ou concernant la politique étrangère de l'Égypte et le renforcement inédit de sa position sur le plan régional et international, estime l'organisme général de l'information, tout en mettant l'accent sur la stature du G7 qui réunit les 7 plus grandes puissances mondiales, politiquement et économiquement, la France, l'Italie, le Japon, l'Allemagne, les États-Unis, la Grande-Bretagne et le Canada. L'organisme général de l'information a mis également en exergue l'importante contribution apportée par l'Égypte aux priorités du G7 cette année, en étant au premier rang des États œuvrant pour la paix et la lutte contre les menaces sécuritaires et terroristes et en défendant devant toutes les instances internationales le droit de l'Afrique à la paix, à la sécurité et à la stabilité en sa qualité de président en exercice de l'Union africaine. L'Égypte est également engagée dans une bataille pour le développement global et durable et est fortement impliquée dans des questions climatiques et l'utilisation juste de la technologie numérique moderne, indique l'OGI, évoquant aussi les avancées réalisées ces dernières années dans l'autonomisation de la femme, l'égalité et la lutte contre les discriminations.